Hello students of class 8. A very warm welcome to the geography class. I am your social science digital mentor and today we are going to start chapter 6 of geography, population dynamics. Learning objectives, distribution of population, factors affecting distribution of population, composition of population, distribution of population in India, growth rate of India's population, density of population, population change, age structure, sex ratio, rural-urban composition. Let's warm up. Look at the following images. What kind of living standard the above pictures depict? Why is a huge population not necessarily needed for economic development? Application skills. Gunjan was shocking at the population map of India. She noticed that some states such as West Bengal have more population and some such as Himachal Pradesh have less population. She wondered why that is so. Can you help her by answer these questions? Number A. Which state in India has the least population? Which state in India has the largest population? The word population signifies the total number of people inhabiting a specific area at a particular time. Population is not static. It is ever-changing and dynamic. People are a nation's greatest resource. Nature's bounty becomes significant only when people find it useful. It is people with their demands and abilities that turn them into resources. Hence, human resource is the ultimate resource. Distribution of population. The way in which people are spread across the Earth's surface is called the pattern of population distribution. The population of world is characterized by the uneven distribution. Some areas are crowded and some areas are sparsely populated. In this picture, you can see world's 10 most populous countries. Areas of Southeast Asia and Europe are more crowded. Few people live in deserts, forests and high altitude areas. 3/4 of the world's population lives in Asia and Africa. Over 90% of the world's population stays in about 30% of the land surface. Many factors contribute to this extremely uneven spatial distribution of population. Almost 3/4 of the world's population live in two continents, Asia and Africa. 60% of the world's people stay in just 10 countries. All of them have more than 100 million people. Density of population. A number of people living in the unit area of the Earth's surface are the density of population, normally expressed as per square kilometer. The average density of population in the whole world is 51 persons per square kilometer. South Central Asia has the highest density of population, followed by East and Southeast Asia. Number 1. Densely populated areas. The fertile river valleys and the industrialized regions of the world generally have a very high density of population. In this picture, you can see densely populated area, and in this picture, you can see moderately populated area and sparsely populated area. Every country in the world has some densely populated regions. These are generally known as metropolitan urban areas. Number 2, moderately populated areas. These are mostly found between the densely and the sparsely populated regions. Most of these regions have recently developed industries due to adequate mining and agricultural facilities. Thus, people migrate and settle in these places due to favorable and economic factors. Central USA, South Russia, Ukraine, Central China, Deccan Plateau of India, and some parts of South America are moderately populated. Sparsely populated area. The sparsely populated areas comprise the hot deserts, cold and high mountainous areas, the tundra regions in the north, thickly forested areas of Amazon, the Congo Basin, the Thar and Sahara have sparse population. Fact file. India conducts a count of its population every 10 years. This is called a census. The first modern census was conducted in 1881 and the last one was conducted in 2011. Factors affecting distribution of population. There are several factors which control the distribution of population. No single factor can control population distribution. All the factors work in combination to control population distribution. Number 1. Topography. Plains have the highest concentration of population due to the flat topography, which is suitable for agriculture, industries, and development of transport. Plateaus are less populated and mountains have lowest concentration of population. Example, Himalayas, Alps, Andes have very less population. In India, the northern fertile plains are thickly populated because of rich fertile soil, favorable climate, and employment opportunities. Number 2. Climate. Regions which have extremely cold and hot climate or have less rainfall are thinly populated. Example, Sahara Desert and polar regions. In India, very few people live in Rajasthan due to very hot and dry climate. Regions which have monsoon climate with abundant rainfall are heavily populated. Number 3. Fertile soil. Areas with fertile soil support a large population because the land is fit for cultivation. Example, fertile plains of the Ganga and Brahmaputra in India, Huanghe Valley in China, and Nile Valley in Egypt are densely populated. Number 4. Availability of water. People prefer to live in areas where water is easily available. The river valleys are densely populated while deserts have sparse population. Number 5. Minerals. Most of the industries are located in places where minerals are easily available. These places are more populated. Example, the states of Bihar and Odisha are thickly populated. Number 6. Employment. Industrial areas provide employment opportunities. Large number of people migrate to these places from villages and small cities. The information about the social, economic, and demographic characteristic of the population of any country is obtained through census. In India, the population census is conducted after every 10 years. Areas like Chota Nagpur, Mumbai in India, and Osaka in Japan have high density of population because they offer good opportunity of employment in industries and other fields. Social, cultural, and economic factors. A. Social factors. People tend to move to those places which have better education, housing, and health facilities. Example, Delhi. In this image, you can see plains support more population than hills. Number B. Cultural factors. Places with religious and cultural significance have more population. Example, Varanasi, Jerusalem, Vatican City, etc. In this image, you can see Vatican City. Number C. Economic factors. Industrial areas provide employment opportunities, so it attracts a large number of people. Examples, Osaka in Japan and Mumbai in India are two densely populated areas. Population change. The population change refers to change in the number of people during a specific time. The world population is not stable. It has increased many-fold due to changes in the number of births and deaths. Until the 1800s, the world's population grew steadily but slowly. Large number of babies were born, but they died early too. Causes: no proper health facilities, no sufficient food available for all the people, farmers not able to produce enough to meet the requirements of all the people. This resulted in a low rise in population. In 1804, the world population hit 1 billion, which is also known as population explosion. Also later in 1999, about 40 years later, the population doubled, reaching 6 billion. The main reason for this growth is better food supply and medicine. Deaths were reduced while the number of births still remained very high. Fact file. Birth rate. Birth rate refers to the number of live births per 1,000 people. Death rate. Death rate refers to the number of deaths per 1,000 people. Migration. Migration is the movement of people in and around an area. In migration, immigration. When people arrive in a country, they are called immigrants, and this process of movement is called immigration. Out-migration, emigration. Those people who leave a country are called emigrants, and this process of movement is termed as out-migration. Natural growth. The difference between the death and the birth rate of a nation is known as the natural growth of the population. Composition of population. The population composition means the structure of population that includes the factors such as sex, health, literacy level, health condition, occupation, and income level. It can also be explained in a pyramid known as age-sex pyramid. Population is divided into various groups such as 5 to 9 years old and 10 to 14 years old. It is divided into male and female category. There are two groups or dependents. Young dependents aged below 15 years, elderly dependents aged above 65 years. Those between 15 and 65 are the working age and economically achieve. The type of age structure has a different influence on the future of a nation. Since both extremes, that is old age, dependency, prove to be a severe burden on the economy of a country. The age structure of a population affects a nation's key socio-economic issues. Countries with young population, high percentage under age 15 need to invest more in schools, while countries with older populations, high percentage age 65 and over need to invest more in the health sector. The composition of population helps us to know how many are males or females, which age group they belong to, how educated they are, and the type of their income. Where are they employed? What their income levels and health conditions are important characteristics of a population besides its size and growth are distributed according to age, sex, and urban-rural status. A. Age structure. An increasing way of studying the age structure of population of a country is by looking at the population and social stability as well as economic development. In a population pyramid, the total population is divided into various age groups. Example 5 to 9 years, 10 to 14 years. Males are conventionally shown on the left and females on the right. The population pyramid is a graphical representation that shows the distribution of various age groups and gender in a population. There are three main pyramid shapes: youthful population, an aging population, and an aged population pyramid. B. Distribution of population on India. In India, where the death rates, especially among the very young, are decreasing, the pyramid is broad at the base in the younger age group as more infants survive to adulthood. In this image, you can see three different types of pyramid of population: youthful population pyramid, aging population pyramid, and aged population pyramid. Such population contain a relatively large number of young people and which shows a strong and expanding labor force. In countries like Japan, low birth rates make the pyramid narrow at the base. Decreased death rates allow number of people to reach old age. C. Sex ratio. Sex ratio means the ratio between the males and females. It is shown as the number of females per 1000 males. It gives information about the extent of equality between males and females in a society at a given time. The sex ratio in India has always remained unfavorable. According to 2011 census, the sex ratio was 940 females per 1000 males. Kerala has a sex ratio of 1058 females per 1000 males. Delhi has only 921 females per 1000 males. Haryana has 861 females per 1000 males. The main reason for this inequality in India is the preference for the boy child, killing of newborn girls. In poor families, better food and health facilities are given to boys. Growth rate of India's population. In the census year 1901, India's population was 23 crore 83 lakh 96,327. 110 years later, according to census 2011, it stood at 1,021 crore 1 lakh 93,422, comprising 62 crore 37 lakh men and 58 crore 65 lakh women. Among all the countries, India's growth rate of population is too high. It means our country would be the world's most populated country in a few years. So some stable measures must be adopted to check this growth of population. Number 1. Family planning. It refers to one or two children in the family. Care of the health and welfare of the family are easy in this type of family. The government must promote the small family norm to achieve replacement levels of total fertility rate. Number 2. Development in rural areas. In India, most of the people live in rural areas. If villages are developed, people would not like to go and settle in cities. Besides agriculture, they should be provided other occupation. Also, modernization of agriculture is important. Number 3. Literacy rate. Kerala continue to have the highest literacy rate in the country. Other states also must try to achieve high literacy rate. In this picture, you can see a school in Kerala. Because only through literacy, people can understand the importance of small family. D. Rural-urban composition. The division of population into rural and urban is based on the difference in their lifestyle, differ from each other in terms of their livelihood and social and economic conditions. The age, sex, occupational structure, density of population varies from country to country. In general terms, rural areas are those where people are engaged in primary activities like agriculture, whereas in urban areas, people are engaged in secondary activities such as trade and manufacturing, banking and transport. The rural-urban differences in Canada and West European countries like France are just the opposite of those in African and Asian countries like Zimbabwe, Nepal and India respectively. Value and life skills. Human beings are a great resource for any country. However, a large uneducated population can be a great problem too, as it cannot be very productive. Can you list some population risks that a large uneducated population can pose? What can you do to help educate people? Recapitulation. Humans are the biggest and the most important resources on earth. The way in which people are spread across the earth's surface is called the pattern of population distribution. The distribution of population is influenced by topography, climate, fertile soil, mineral deposits, water availability, employment, etc. The average density of population is the number of people living in 1 square kilometer. Population growth is not uniform in the world. It varies from place to place. Sex ratio is shown as the number of females per thousand males. Among all the countries, India's growth rate of population is too high. Our country would be the world's most populated country in a few years. Thank you class. Let's meet again next time.